Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian
All right, buddy.
and Brett.
What's up?
This is Survivor 45, Episode 5. I don't want to be the worm. We had a lot of things this episode. We had fish, we had blindsides, we had a lot of Pokemon talk that I'm still confused about, but we'll see if anybody can comment to let us know. I want to start where the episode ended and with the tribe where I think had the most interesting week, and that is Bello. Brett's been calling and wanting them to go to tribal, and we finally got to see them go to tribal. A tribe where, like, right, you would call it the red versus the blue, with a yellow Emily Pikachu in the middle, kind of really being the swing vote there. So, Brett, I'll let you start off. Kind of what was your vibe on the Bello tribe and really everything that went through in the tribal?
I mean, I still don't really like calling them Bello because I wanted to see the real Bello go to tribal. This is two Bellos and three other people. So, um, with this one, I guess I'm glad they still went to tribal. I want to see which side Emily picked. We all knew she was in a good spot there. But what I really want to get into is the fact that like why the whole Brandon and Drew thing. Pre-show we were talking about this, but Drew and Brando had a great nerd out moment with the Pokemon, and this seemed like a great time to like align Drew, Brando, and Emily. Why didn't they just target Kendra? Like, I don't know why Drew and Brando got into this thing of like, oh, he said I said that. Oh no, he said I said that. Then they went to war, and Emily sort of then decided if I were Drew in Austin, I would have just targeted Kendra the whole time, and I wouldn't have blamed Brando for throwing Kendra under the bus because what else are you going to do? Like, yes, you want Emily to side with you and vote out a red, but at the same time, if she doesn't, you want her writing the other blues name down and not you.
Yeah, is Brando even a threat? I mean, he's probably the weakest dude on that tribe. I don't know why they get rid of these people.
I think from like how I watched that edit go, it seemed that, in my opinion at least, and maybe we'll get more of the kind of fallout next week and we'll get kind of led into the ultimate decision. But I got the vibe it was Austin. I mean, Austin came back from being on that island. He came back, he found out what had been going on. Um, so Emily misinterpreted the Brandon Drew thing, right? Like it had been Brando's idea about the elimination, right? He did bring up, did
Right.
he bring up Catherine first?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Brando said, "Oh, I want to side with you, vote out Kendra," and
Yeah.
then everyone's saying, "Oh, he's conceding too quickly." And then, I mean, he will. I don't. Why would he not throw Kendra's name out there? Because if I'm Brando, yes, I might be loyal to Kendra and want to take out a red, but if that doesn't happen, it's Emily's choice at the end of the day. You want them to say Kendra and not you.
Right.
So it
Doesn't make
seems
sense. Like
obvious.
the show's called Survivor. Like you're trying to survive. So I don't understand
I
sometimes.
thought was doing a good job at first during the squirming because he genuinely at first had Emily convinced that it was Drew's idea. But then what this tribe is doing is they are really like doing speed dating and they are going and everyone's
Mm.
talking to everyone. And by the time all of them talk to each other, they come to the conclusion that it was Brando. And like you said, it is interesting. Again, I just think maybe they think, besides him also having the shot in the dark, maybe they were just like, this guy is conspiring way more than Kendra is. And frankly, at
Yeah.
this point, unless they if they go to another tribal, she's not with them, right? Like they don't really have to concern themselves. I don't know. I mean, do you guys think Kendra is like a big threat to leave around, like versus Brando? I don't see a huge disparity in them as
I don't
far
think
as
either one of them are a threat. I just think from Drew's perspective early on, it would have made sense to team up with Brando on the side.
maybe he just
And
didn't like him.
They're different gym leaders.
Oh yeah, the one was like what are the teams? The gyms
Drew,
like Thunder and
Instinct,
in,
Valor,
yeah,
shit.
I wonder if Mystic. I wonder if Brando's a Mystic because they're blue.
That's right.
But
well, because Brando offered the alliance to his face early in the episode, and he said no. Like he's like, I don't want to do that. He literally said it right to his face, and I'm like, oh,
that was
all
stupid.
right. Well, and that was like when Brando was like, okay, well, that's when they started the whole we need to get him out thing. And like you said, Brett, it didn't really seem like a necessary comment that needed to be made. Say yes for now, right? You don't have to keep to your word at Survivor, but he did like put himself more in the crossfire this week than I
But
think he needed to be.
Drew should have accepted it, been like, look, I want to work with you, but at the same time, I'm not cutting Austin and I'm not cutting myself. Let's vote out Kendra. And then, if whoever said vote out Kendra, everyone except Kendra, maybe Emily should be saying that because you got to save your own ass.
Exactly.
I mean, it's interesting to see how that goes forward now with Kendra, right? Like, does she try to assimilate and try to be, quote unquote, bellow strong and be a group of four? Or
They're merging.
do you think she tries to just survive out and then she's out of that group?
Yeah, I mean, the merge has got to be very soon. Just win,
Oh, it's
baby.
happening.
Do you think it's next week?
Is
It is next week. They showed us in the trailer.
I don't usually see the trailers with my DVR cuts.
Final tribals in what, 3 weeks?
Oh, I have no idea.
Joke.
I just said merge is happening next week.
Okay.
That's good. I mean, at least that's when the show I think gets better with these 3 tribe seasons. It's just too. I want to see some better, I want to see some people moving around more, like some alliances, people coming back together where they stand. That'll be interesting.
Speaking of that, I think we can at least touch on the other 2 tribes. This is going into the merge next week where they stand with the dynamics. Reba, obviously, we left off from tribal last week with the Sifu vote. Finding out that one of the 3 women had definitely voted for him. They're all
that guy's gullible as hell, man.
Dee's like, she starts it by being like, I'm not ready to talk about it. And then they end up talking about it. They all deny it. That's a very interesting. I mean, they are not a group, obviously, but they think at least he has the fake idol that he's dropped to name dropped to D. So they think he's Teflon. So they're scared to death of this dude right now. Brent, what do you think of them going into next week?
Well, I mean, they never trusted J Maya or Sifu. I mean, we even see in the trailer again, the 4 Reds, they rejoin at the merge and they're like, oh, we're the strongest alliance in the game. So, I mean, I think D, she's pretty savage. She's like, screw it, let's take out Sifu. And then whenever J Maya is like, oh, let's just say I voted for him and then blame me and then we'll try to trick him. And then D's like, you know what, let's just vote her ass out. And
yeah.
So
I kind of like that though. I think it's a good show.
I do too. I think it's savage.
I like it, but it's interesting for sure. So
she's doing what she's got to do to survive, right? And she knows that it is funny. They were so mad. They're so mad at the dude from last week. They're
mad at Sean. They're like, they blamed Sean for it. Like, why'd he snitch? He got voted out. The game's over. You can't talk.
Yeah.
You should be muted. They should be duct taped.
Yeah, like he's still trying to talk, but he's muted.
They should throw a sack over your head and take you out of the island. You're one of the others from Lost.
I don't know if you guys have ever played Among Us, but in that game, once you get killed, you can't talk. So
you're out.
Survivor,
same thing. Little ghosty flying around. That would be fun. We should do Reality Guys Among Us. That would be funny.
I've never played it.
Oh, you don't need to know how to play it. It's very simple. It's one of those you just pick up and play type things. It's a murder mystery. It's fun.
I play with Windows every week.
Lulu. The main thing I have Lulu. I mean, it's Jake keeps passing out.
How is he not medically DQ'd yet?
I don't know. He should be out.
There's a dude filming him falling. I don't understand this. I don't want to
swimmer.
He literally said I passed out. Like, dude, that's not good.
Yeah, and I saw somewhere online, unfortunately, that there is another somebody quits.
Oh no!
But I think it might be. It's got to be him. He's not. It's I think they might bunch that in there, but it's happened twice. He fell in a fire. He fell in a fire. He should have been gone then. No, I'm not trying to shit on him, but it's just
he's a nurse on his tribe. She said he was fine. It's the same thing. You stand up too quick and you're lightheaded and you get dizzy. Except it's exasperate. It's more because you're starving on an island.
Exactly. It's so bad, but the other people aren't fucking passing out twice.
Yeah, I just think, and here's the thing, Jeff hasn't even called him. Usually he's like, yo, let's check you out. And he hasn't even checked him out, at least on film. You know how they do that sometimes?
The rug out from under him type thing, during the merge or something?
I don't know. They don't even check his levels. They used to do that. If somebody was kind of on the ropes, they'd check how he's doing, and that could he could be fine or he could be kicked. But I just find it weird that they haven't done that yet.
I think the only time they actually DQ someone medically is if it requires them to actually go to the hospital.
But they're not even checking his blood pressure or anything. That's basic stuff.
That's true.
Like Jeff in the night. Remember when Jeff used to come through the night, Brett? He'd be like, "Hey, we gotta check your vitals." He'd like wake you up like in the middle of the night, and it's like, "Hey, holy shit, Jeff's here."
Yeah.
Wow, I'm
The
trying to
Grim
sleep. Finally
Reaper.
getting sleep.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jeff.
I don't know. I'm just surprised. Like, what do you think his family thinks watching that? It's kind of scary.
Yeah, of course it's scary. I mean,
He
obviously,
and he might pass out, but he's like his hands are he's like looks like he's having a seizure. His hands are like down there like
the
shaking.
only the only I guess like saving grace I think you would say, Bry, watching it is that like if he's fine right now, they know he's fine, so like
Right.
whatever. But it's not like say they're watching like Big Brother and he's
True.
passing out and they're not doing anything about it. That would be different. You know what I mean? Everyone's watching.
Yeah, I'm just surprised for how this show has evolved that I'm surprised they haven't checked them out.
I mean, look, I think that makes sense.
Maybe it's off camera. Who knows?
Yeah. Show I mean, god damn it, you made it 90 minutes. Show us.
We got his sob story where we found out he was a fatty. He
Well,
used to
that
eat
was
fast
kind of what I
food.
was thinking in my head. It's like he's lost a lot of weight in the last 2 years, and it could be something like that. It's like extreme dehydration, this and that. Versus when you're
Maybe.
been like working out a lot and getting good hydration, and kind of your body then going to having like nothing is probably very dramatic. I would think more than like if it's just us going in and like we're relatively all been like the same like weight. My light turned off, like weight or size the last few years. You know.
Is Kendra eating that worm or attempting to eat that worm the only form of somebody trying to eat food that wasn't given to them? Like no one's trying to catch stuff, no one's trying to
Well,
fish,
they are trying to fish, but I don't think they're doing that
no
well.
one's eating coconuts, no one's doing any of this stuff. Like the team that doesn't have flint, have they even tried to make fire like with a stick? Like
Well, they have it now, but
no, yeah, I just don't understand.
the other thing from Lulu, yeah, obviously Katura still hates Bruce, and Caleb is doing really well. I think he's made a lot of really good one-on-one connections with that tribe, so I think he's got a lot of flexibility going into the merge.
Yeah.
Caleb's good. He's like he wants to build one-on-one connections with everyone, and Kelly was the one person that he didn't have one with, and he's like, oh, everyone also loves Kelly, so let's just make Kelly my best friend now, and we're both gonna basically like run this thing, and it seemed to have worked decently. Which, you know, obviously, if you're that likable, eventually they'll probably come for you, but for right now, it's a good idea.
Uh,
Mhm.
Kelly's one of the three um, amulet holders. Kelly
Mhm.
Austin and Jay Maya. This is if all three of them they're there and they use it's what it's an extra vote. If there's two of them, it's steal a vote. If there's only one of them left, it becomes an immunity idol up till the final six. Austin's been pretty open that he wanted the sandwich and that he is going to try to target them to turn them into an immunity idol. So be curious to see if he does try to enact that strategy sooner than later based off of the parameters.
Yeah.
I hope so. That was actually a really interesting dilemma that they had. And I actually agree with Austin. He's like, why? Like, yes, it's great to have power and have these things and all that, but you're basically making enemies with the two people next to you because you have to work together. You have to trust each other. And then there's an incentive for them not to. So that's what he was saying. He's like, look, my target's big enough. I don't need another reason for you or anyone else to come for me, and he's hungry. So I mean, I really thought not getting the ambulance made sense. I mean, he already has an idol, you know, I guess whatever stipulations are on that one, but yeah. And then so now the fact that they basically were like, no, we're gonna do what we want to do. He's like, perfect. Well, guess what? We're not in an alliance then because we're clearly not good at working together, and I'm coming for you.
Mhm.
I agree. I'm looking forward to the merge. I think the dynamics that we're laying out for all three are good. It is going to be nice to see some of the old like alliances come back together. See if any of the old ones though maybe have a new twist or maybe have kind of a weakness in them. So make sure you're subscribed here and on TikTok. We cover all of Reality Wednesday on CBS with Amazing Race and Survivor. We do have a new season of the challenge that is premieres tonight. So Brett is going to be looking into covering that. We have everything from Golden Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, F Boy Island, Summer House, Southern Charm, all the Netflix stuff, and everything and anything in between. Oh, also Big Brother recaps also coming from Brett, and he's been doing them throughout the season. But obviously, as we get down to the kind of final members and all, I'm sure we'll do some coverage, and we'll have Kyle and some of the Strat Chat people on. I was saying to Brian before, maybe do kind of like a nice finale / season in review type recap thing would be nice. So make sure you're subscribed here on TikTok, and you'll catch all of that. But
Going
for
hard.
myself,
I'm doing the challenge. The challenge is happening now, once a week, in Big Brother, at least once a week. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, you just make sure you're subscribed. We have all the playlists. You can see it. Everything's listed by the challenge, by Maze, by the show that we're covering. We have all the playlists, which makes it easy, and you can just sit down and listen to us all in a row. But like I said, for all three of us, we really appreciate it. Thank you. Peace.